The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Cable Bahamas says ZNS was in breach of a contract, but the Broadcasting Corporation saying there's no truth to that accusation. FTX debtors want donations returned, and SBF will be arraigned next week. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, December 29th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be here filling in for Laverne Gardner, who's under the weather. Also, this morning, we're going to be talking about airspace and the government responding to U.S. airlines who are saying they're being overcharged for use of Bahamas airspace. The government's response to that's going to come up a bit later in Morning Blend Business. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Cable Bahamas group of companies saying that it is disappointed by the accusations levied against it by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, which accused Cable of intruding on ZNS's broadcast of the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. In a statement yesterday, Cable Bahamas saying, quote, CBL is committed to providing exemplary coverage of Junkanoo, not just to Bahamians, but to the world at large. The BCB was aware of and breached the terms of our broadcasting conditions for the Boxing Day celebrations. As a result, Rev TV customers on 4 islands, New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera, were directed to watch the live broadcast of the Boxing Day Parade on Rev Channel 212 for a limited period at the beginning of the segment. This was not an anti-competition tactic as was suggested by the BCB. Cable and its partner Live saying it has made significant contributions to getting Junkanoo back to the people through multi-year, multi-million-dollar sponsorship of Junkanoo. The company went on to say, quote, it is unfortunate that other media broadcasters and their partners, by all of their actions thus far, have attempted to hijack the hard work of our contributions and those of the Junkanoo groups. Cable Bahamas did not say what terms the Broadcasting Corporation supposedly breached. On Monday night, as the parade was underway, BCB Executive Chairman Pricewell Forbes accused Cable Bahamas of intruding on ZNS's broadcast of the parade. Forbes said that the move by Cable occurred without any discussions or agreement with the BCB. He accused Cable Bahamas of acting in an anti-competitive manner. Forbes said that IRCA would be notified of the conscious and deliberate action by Rev Cable Bahamas on behalf of its companies. Forbes yesterday denying that the BCB breached any agreement with Cable and said corporation officials will meet today with the minister responsible for the corporation, Miles LaRota, and its legal team on how to handle the situation. Meanwhile, Cable Bahamas says it's looking forward to an amicable resolution to the matter. The U.S. arm of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which is currently in Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings, wants everyone who received contributions from FTX to either voluntarily return the money or face legal action. FTX saying in a statement that, quote, to the extent such payments are not returned voluntarily, the FTX debtors intend to commence actions before the bankruptcy court to require the return of such payments with interest accruing from the date any action is commenced. Recipients are cautioned that making a payment or donation to a third party, including a charity, in the amount of any payment received from an FTX contributor does not prevent the FTX debtors from seeking recovery from the recipient or any subsequent transferee. FTX Trading said it has been approached by a number of recipients of contributions or other payments made in the direction of its former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, and other principals of FTX. Meanwhile, Sam Bankman-Fried, also known as SBF, the former cryptocurrency head of FTX, will be arraigned in New York court next Tuesday, according to court documents. Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas and voluntarily extradited to the U.S. and expected to enter a plea to the charges. He's currently free on a $250 million bond secured by his parents' home in California. The 30-year-old was wanted in the U.S. on fraud charges concerning the collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange, which resulted in customers losing billions of dollars. If convicted, he could be jailed for 115 years. A man on bail on a murder charge is back in custody after he was accused of attempted murder and violating his bail conditions. 20-year-old Mauricio Webster of 2nd Street, The Grove, appeared before magistrates Samuel McKinney in connection with the December 18th shooting of Adam Newbold on East Street. Webster, who was on bail for the December 23, 2020 shooting death of Bradley Strachan on Peter Street, was not required to enter a plea to the charge. Bail was denied because the magistrate lacked the authority to consider bail. However, Webster can seek bail in the Supreme Court. He returns to court on March 1st to receive a voluntary bill of indictment. Webster was fined and placed on probation for failing to charge his electronic monitoring device on 5 occasions in December in violation of his bail conditions. Webster breached his bail on December 5th, 7th, 15th, 18th, and 19th by not charging his device when the battery was low. McKinney fined Webster $3,000 for the breaches, and he will serve a default sentence of 6 months in prison if the fines aren't paid. Should he commit any other bail breaches during the 18-month-long probationary period, he will have 1 year in prison. And a man accused of a sex crime against a child remanded to prison. Prosecutors charge 23-year-old Cecil Smith with unlawful sexual intercourse after he was allegedly intimate with a 14-year-old girl on December 19th. The age of consent is 16. Officers arrested Smith on December 20th after he was allegedly found with her on Kemp Road. Smith wasn't required to enter a plea to the charge when he appeared before Magistrate Shaka Serville. He was denied bail because the magistrate lacks the authority to consider bail, but he can seek bail in the Supreme Court. He's next due to return to court on March 31st. Meanwhile, a man accused of an unlawful relationship with a minor is expected to learn his fate next month. Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson was expected to sum up the case of Walter Gray, who faces 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse. However, her summation was adjourned until January 12th because the court didn't have all the transcripts of the evidence that was presented in the case. Overseas, moves by several countries to mandate COVID-19 tests for passengers arriving from China, reflecting global concern that new variants could emerge in its ongoing explosive outbreak. and that the government may not inform the rest of the world quickly enough. There have been no reports of new variants to date, but China has been accused of not being forthcoming about the virus since it first surfaced in that country in late 2019. The worry is that it may not be sharing data now on any signs of evolving strains that could spark fresh outbreaks elsewhere. The US, Japan, India, South Korea, Taiwan, and Italy have announced testing requirements for passengers from China. The US cited both the surge in infections and what it said was a lack of information, including genomic sequencing of the virus strains in the country. Authorities in Taiwan and Japan have expressed similar concerns. Taiwan will start testing everyone arriving from China on January 1st ahead of the expected return of about 30,000 Taiwanese for the Lunar New Year holiday later this month, later in January. The new Japanese rules, which restrict flights from mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau to designated airports beginning Friday, are already disrupting holiday travel plans. And multiple regions of Ukraine, including its capital, facing a massive barrage of missiles today, the biggest wave of strikes in weeks targeting power stations and other critical infrastructure during freezing weather. Air raid sirens ringing out across the country. Ukraine's military chief saying that preliminary data showed Russia fired 69 missiles at energy facilities, and Ukrainian forces shot down 54 of them. There were no immediate reports of any deaths. Russia dispatched explosive drones to selected regions overnight before broadening the barrage with air and sea-based cruise missiles launched from strategic aircraft and ships in the morning. The widespread attack was the latest in a series of Russian strikes on power and water supplies that have increased the Ukrainian population's suffering. Moscow has launched such attacks on a weekly basis since October, while its ground forces struggle to advance. In sports, and that's the Guardian's Junior Male Athlete of the Year has been named. The World Junior Champion who made headlines, Antoine Andrews, had the kind of season that would make even the absolute best athletes in the world marvel, peaking at the right time to assert himself as the best in his discipline. At the junior level, the world's top athletes all look to hit their best marks and times at major championships. And Andrews and his coach, Darren Lightburn, were able to do just that. Andrews climaxed his best season ever, winning gold for the Bahamas in the 110 meters hurdles at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Colombia in August, cementing his status as the best under-20 athlete in the world across the 10 barriers in the sprint hurdles. He held off his former St. John's College teammate, Keyshawn Strachan, to claim the title of the NASA Guardian's Junior Male Athlete of the Year, finishing with 44 points in the voting, with Strachan ending at 42. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got high pressure that continues to build across the islands, while a slight troughing east of the central Bahamas will produce isolated shower activity over the northwest and central islands through tonight. Beachgoers and swimmers should exercise caution due to the slight to moderate risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. Your forecast for today for the northwest and central Bahamas, variably cloudy and breezy with a few passing isolated showers through tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts and seas 4 to 7 feet in light northeast to easterly swells. For the southeast Bahamas today, partly sunny and breezy with a slight chance of a passing isolated shower, becoming fair and breezy tonight. For boaters, small craft caution remains in effect. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet in light easterly swells. It's about 73 degrees right now in Nassau with showers in some parts of New Providence. We're expecting highs to get up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. You'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Did you know that using contactless payments with your MasterCard helps plant trees around the globe? Join MasterCard in its commitment to making the world a better place and taking action against climate change. Every contactless transaction with your MasterCard contributes to planting 100 million trees in 5 years in geographies with the most need. Tap your MasterCard contactless to make a difference, and together we can start something priceless. Visit mastercardba.worldcoo.com for more information. Did you know that using contactless payments with your MasterCard helps plant trees around the globe? Join MasterCard in its commitment to making the world a better place and taking action against climate change. Every contactless transaction with your MasterCard contributes to planting 100 million trees in 5 years in geographies with the most need. Tap your MasterCard contactless to make a difference, and together we can start something priceless. Visit mastercardba.worldcoo.com for more information.
Join Journey Rewards for free, and every purchase is another chance to win big monthly prizes like a cruise for 2, plane tickets, free fuel, and so much more. Just scan, win, repeat. Fuel up or grab a snack or a drink at any Esso service station. Then scan the QR code to enter your purchase information. That's it. The more you enter, the more you can win. And win again. Journey Rewards. Scan, win, repeat. Free to join and easy to enter. Start by an Esso service station and start winning today. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Enjoy great savings this holiday on your favorite water, Aquapure. Now until December 31st, take advantage of Aquapure's Christmas coupon special. Purchase a book of 10 5-gallon coupons for just $35 plus VAT, regularly $42.50 plus VAT. And best of all, these coupons never expire. Be sure to take advantage of this great offer, Aquapure's Christmas coupon special, going on now. Call 394-7873 or order online at aquapure242.com.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us, filling in for Laverne Gardner today. Hope Laverne feels better. And we're going to be talking about what's in the news and in business, some of the issues in the business world here in the country, including a response to what we told you about yesterday about U.S. airlines that are accusing the government of unfair practices, of exorbitant fees to use Bahamian airspace, what the government's response is to that, and more of some of the big stories in today's Guardian Business section. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, we're going to get to the big headline in the Nassau Guardian. Cable Bahamas says ZNS was in breach of a contract, some agreement for the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade coverage. But the Broadcasting Corporation says that isn't true. We don't know what you're talking about. We're going to get to that in a bit. And we're going to talk a little bit about this incident in Grand Bahama with some teenagers, it seems, and a security guard, which is disturbing. But let's begin with FTX. FTX, we couldn't go too many days without that being a hot topic. And now we are hearing, which will not come as a surprise to many people, that the FTX debtors want donations returned. Oh boy. Our Travis Carrot-Caro writing about this today. The U.S. arm of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which is currently in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, wants everyone who received contributions from FTX to either voluntarily return the money or face legal action. FTX saying in a statement, quote, "To the extent such payments are not returned voluntarily, the FTX debtors intend to commence actions before the bankruptcy court to require the return of such payments, with interest accruing from the date any action is commenced. Recipients are cautioned that making a payment or a donation to a third party, including a charity, in the amount of any payment received from an FTX contributor does not prevent the FTX debtors from seeking recovery from the recipient or any subsequent transferee." Got that? So don't try giving it away to somebody. They're still going to want it back. Now, FTX Trading says it has been approached by a number of recipients of contributions or other payments made at the direction of its former CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, and other principals of FTX. FTX saying, quote, these recipients have requested directions for the return of such funds to the FTX debtors. The FTX debtors are working with these recipients to secure the prompt return of such funds to the FTX estates for the benefit of customers and creditors. The FTX debtors invite all recipients of such payments to contact the FTX debtors at ftxrepay at ftx.us. FTX repay, R-E-P-A-Y, at ftx.us to make arrangements for the return of such payments. In its lawsuit against Bankman-Fried, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission said that SBF used FTX customer funds for a variety of personal expenditures, including luxury real estate purchases, private jets, documented and undocumented personal loans, and personal political donations. FTX is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world before it collapsed in early November. Bankman-Fried, who lived in the Bahamas and was once described as the White Knight of crypto, was indicted on charges of wire fraud in the U.S. In New York, arrested and extradited to the U.S. this month. He moved his company's headquarters from Hong Kong to the Bahamas in 2021 and was welcomed with open arms. But everything came down in a spectacular way last month. All right, so let's get your reaction to this. There's been reports that this might happen. People were suspecting that this was going to come to this weeks ago, and folks who got donations have, many of them some who've spoken out saying, we don't have that anymore. That was months ago, and we've used it, and what are we to do? But what are they to do? What do you think should happen here? What do you make of all of this? Is this fair at all? Or do these people who lost money need to get their money back? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Chester Robards is with us now. Good morning, Chester.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
All right.
Thank you again for being here. All right. So, is this a surprise to you that that there will be requests for the donated money to be returned?
No. No, it's all customer funds. So I guess, as we say, it is what it is.
Oh boy. I mean sure, it is what it is. But if you were a charity, what are you going to do? You got a massive donation, and you've used it. So you say, what do you do now? What do?
What do the lawyers say? I don't know. I mean, the only phrase I can think of is plausible deniability. I don't know if that fits. You didn't know, and you spent the money that you thought was, given legally, and now what? I mean, you don't have it, so what are you going to do?
Wow. I'm wondering, should this be on a case-by-case basis, not just a blanket statement like that, but like, okay, let me make my case. I'm a charity. We feed starving people. We didn't buy Albany penthouses with it. We can show you that we spent it on this food and food-related items.
Right.
Can you give us
enough?
Right. Give us a break, for God's sake, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who they claim they're a charity, but what did they do with the money, right? That kind of thing. Should it be like that, or can you make a statement like, everybody just bring it now?
So my initial thought on this situation was that the Chapter 11 executives and I guess the liquidators here would figure out what money was legitimately earned by the company itself and what money might have been moved out of the company illegally, separate the two, and then, the money that was donated from the company, if the books could tell you that, would just let it go. Just write that off as a company expense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that they're asking for it now is weird because I'm sure they haven't done the deepest dive they could do into FTX's books.
Wow. All right. There's a whole lot more in this article we want to get to, but let's take this call and take a few of your calls. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
Okay, those charitable organizations that can prove that that money was donated from FTX, there's nothing going to come out of that because most of those organizations did not ask for the money. They were given the donations because they're a charitable organization. All right, if the lawyers are saying that they must return the money, what about the President of the United States? What about the Republican branch of the United States? Okay? All those received millions of dollars in charitable donations from FTX. So they need to start there first before they come talking about those who received donations. And at the end of the day, the CEO of the company is responsible, or whoever gave those donations is responsible for that donation. Okay? Not the charitable organizations. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I don't know if the court's going to see it like that, but okay. So here's more in the article today about all of this, right? So, all right. So, FTX's Bahamian-based company, FTX Digital Markets, is not part of the Chapter 11 proceedings. FTX DM is being liquidated in the Bahamas under the oversight of court-appointed joint provisional liquidators who have been sparring with FTX's new CEO, John Ray III, over access to data from the company. Ray has accused the JPLs, the joint liquidators, provisional liquidators, and the Securities Commission of the Bahamas of working with SBF to undermine the Chapter 11 proceedings. It's unclear if FTX's U.S. threat affects the millions of dollars in donations FTX made to the Bahamas, right? It's unclear at the moment, but that was just what they said. As previously reported by the Nassau Guardian, FTX's tentacles stretched far across the Bahamas. It made dozens of public and private donations across the country since its arrival last year. In January, FTX Digital Markets donated $1.4 million in KN95 protective masks and testing kits to the Bahamas government in an effort to mitigate the effects of COVID-19. In March, FTX paid for the Bahamar ballroom used for the state reception in honor of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Oh, really? Yeah.
That ain't charity.
I wasn't paying attention to that. Whoa. Yeah.
That ain't charity.
They paid for it. Well, that's very interesting. You're wondering who paid for that. But okay. Well. That was when Prince William and Kate came to visit. You remember? And they paved some roads. Yeah. FTX also funded the Hurricane Dorian Relief Gospel Concert held at Bahamar in September. Okay. It was free to the public. We were wondering about that. Remember, how could this be a fundraiser if it was free? Lord. FTX also was also a platinum sponsor of the Bahamas Pavilion at Expo 2020 in Dubai. In January, FTX donated $1.1 million to agricultural development in the Bahamas. The money was given to the Agricultural Development Organization, the ADO, which planned to pump $700,000 into education and tools for farmers to conduct a study on agriculture in the country. In April, ADO and Solutions AE then donated about $200,000 to the Church Commercial Farming Group. Reverend Patrick Paul accepted the donation on behalf of the Bahamas Christian Council and the Farming Group. Church Commercial Farming Group, okay. In January, FTX announced a partnership with the Climate Change Adaptation and Resilience Research Center, known as the CCARR, at the University of the Bahamas with a donation of over $240,000 over the next 2 years. In January, FTX also donated over $500,000 to civic groups to fund their charitable work. The Bahamas Cancer Society, with the Ride for Hope, and also its golf tournament, received $50,000. Hands for Hunger, $250,000. Links Safe House, $100,000. The Nassau chapter of Links Incorporated, $20,000. The Occupy Mentorship Program received $25,000. Salvation Army got $50,000. And the singing Bishop Lawrence Roll, who wept at his donation, received $50,000. Roll later telling the Nassau Guardian that he spent the money within a month. In February, FTX invited representatives of various Grand Bahama nonprofits to breakfast and surprised them with up to $250,000 in donations. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., the Cancer Society of Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society, YMCA Grand Bahama, the Regency Theater, and the Humane Society of Grand Bahama were some of the organizations that received donations from FTX. In March, FTX donated $100,000 to the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture for the 2022 Carifta Championships. Both the swimming and track and field federations received an additional $10,000 each for a total of $120,000. In April, the Bahamas Alliance for Animal Rights and Kindness, BARC, announced that FTX donated $100,000 to support its much-anticipated mobile spay and neuter clinic. There were many more donations made by the company in the Bahamas. Wow. Okay. And this has been what SBF has been all about, right? He's gone all around telling people that he wants to give away most of what he had.
Right. Effective altruism, or now as we figure out, ineffective.
Oh boy. Okay. So that's a lot. That is a lot. And again, there's more that some might not know about. So again, what do you say? People are saying, well, my God, I've lost millions. What am I to do? Let's hear from you. Caller, good morning. What say you on this? Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester. And, what powers does the liquidators have in this matter?
The liquidators here in the Bahamas you're talking about?
No, all of the liquidators. Because in my thinking, that is a matter for the courts to decide,
Yeah, well, it's before the court. But
I mean, this particular matter as to whether the charitable donation should be returned, I think that's a matter for the courts, for the courts to decide. Because
you're talking about the courts in the Bahamas, you mean?
No, wherever the case is being adjudicated, that's a matter. I think that because if it was me, they would have to sue me. I mean, they would have to take me to court. And I received those monies in good faith. I received like everybody else. I didn't have any idea that this was money that was being laundered or whatever it is. Okay, so I received the money in good faith. How can you now come and ask me to return said money? So I think that's a matter for the courts to decide whether these monies should be returned. And like the previous point said, all of those donations that were made to those political parties in the states, they should go after them first because they were bigger contributions than these small things,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Take.
I hear you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right.
I think that's the only way they are going to effectively even begin to collect any money is they have to go after these people for it. You can't just say, this money was not given by the company or was not authorized to be given by the company, given the circumstances, and then say you all need to give it back. That's just not how it works.
Right. Wow.
The court will have to decide whether or not these companies have to give it back. And I think the burden of proof is actually not on the people who receive the money, is on the company itself. And if, again, like I said, if they could decide that the money was not part of stuff that was taken out of customer funds, because the company did make profits I would imagine, legitimately, then that's fair game, I would think.
Yeah.
But to me, to just come out and say everybody who received money got to give it back just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying it's going to take us a long time to get to the bottom of this books. They didn't keep good records, so why now would you already be coming, especially back to charities, saying you all need to find this money? That's my thinking.
Right. By the way, I was watching the Miami Heat game last night. I'm surprised they still are calling that the FTX Arena. Yeah, they got that all over the court. Yeah, well, I would have taped that over or something. But anyway,
it's the holiday season, man. People off. They wasn't able to rip it off.
Okay, sure.
Well, no, the contract actually doesn't expire until January. It was up to be renewed in January. Don't forget, the company still exists. It's just under new management.
Do you think anybody's investing their money with them at the moment? Right.
I don't know. That's a good question. But they remember they stopped the exchange, so I don't think they restarted it. And don't forget, like John Ray has been saying, there are parts of the company that's solvent.
Yeah.
They did run several legitimate brokerages, I think. Yeah, brokerages. That I think could still be making money, but I'm not 100% sure if it's still active and making money.
All right, we've got a lot of text messages, but let's take this call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning to you, Dwight, and to Chester.
Hi.
Alan Johnson, critical thinker. I wish clawback was as simple as give me back my money. Even though we have a mutual assistance agreement for legal matters, you still have to have federal law has to be subject to the laws of the particular state for which they are seeking those clawbacks. Generally speaking, within clawbacks made within the first 90 days are automatically considered not exempt from it. But what happens is that when you start asking for voluntary return, and each person who is subject to the clawback would have to be sued individually. Generally speaking, they would look at the cost. Say somebody got $50,000, the cost to claw that back in filing the fees and legal fees, as well as in recovery as to what exactly would end up going back to the debtors. But I think we're looking at this as a blanket clawback. There's some complexity in debtors' clawback, or even coming directly from the court. And so I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut as we think, like all of those donations being made. It is done. Now, ignorance of the law is no excuse. The complexity even goes further if they make a determination from further investigation that this was an all-out Ponzi scheme. At least for the last decade, this has been debated in the federal courts in the U.S., in the federal bankruptcy court in the U.S. There's more so, you have companies that look for what is called image problem, that generally would give it back. And they are usually the larger charities and political organizations, etc., that is going to happen. And so I think, though, that the government itself owes it to the Bahamian charities to have a person that is familiar with federal bankruptcy clawback laws to actually consult with them to alleviate the fear and anxieties within these organizations. Now, I don't think pure governmental organizations, etc., would be exempt from this. They should consider exactly how to redeem these, or what is called government-influenced donations.
Yeah. Okay, it's going to be interesting. We're going to be watching, getting a lot of great text messages. We'll read those when we come back. This one just coming in. Hey, this is the equivalent of receiving stolen goods. Is it? We'll talk. We'll get to those after the break. This is Morning Blend on a Thursday. Hey, it's the final Thursday. Is it? Yes, the final Thursday of 2022. My goodness, Chester. Where did the time go? Finally? Really? Anyway, we'll be back. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. Here's what's happening in your real-time traffic. Another day of really manageable traffic flow throughout New Providence. Nothing much to talk about at all at this hour as the year winds down and a lot of people are off. But so nothing to talk about much. There's a few areas you'll see a few cars waiting in line at intersections, but definitely manageable. That's your first look at traffic. We'll see if things change after the 8 o'clock news. But this traffic report brought to you by RBC. Apply for a loan at RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got high pressure that continues to build across the islands, while a slight troughing east of the central Bahamas will produce isolated wet rain activity over the northwest and central islands through tonight. Your forecast for today for the northwest and central Bahamas, variably cloudy and breezy with a few passing isolated showers through tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny and breezy with a slight chance of passing isolated showers, becoming fair and breezy tonight. Across the country, small craft caution remains in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. Currently in Nassau, it's about 74 degrees. We've got showers in parts of New Providence. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue to dominate the weather across the islands, generating warmer and drier conditions. So for Friday, partly sunny, warm, and a bit breezy with a chance of a few passing isolated showers, becoming fair and breezy at night. And Saturday, New Year's Eve, we're looking at sunny and warm conditions, becoming fair and mild at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. To RBC, get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
This Christmas season, stream with faster speeds. The unforgettable things we all have to see. Share every memory. Link up for Christmas. Link up with BTC. We are family.
BTC will make this festive season fun and fast with BTC's fiber internet. Sign up and BTC will give you 1 month free or go postpaid and get unlimited Facebook and WhatsApp.
Link up for Christmas. Link up with BTC. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
We're good for you.
Enjoy great savings this holiday on your favorite water, Aquapure. Now until December 31st, take advantage of Aquapure's Christmas coupon special. Purchase a book of 10 5-gallon coupons for just $35 plus VAT, regularly $42.50 plus VAT. And best of all, these coupons never expire. Be sure to take advantage of this great offer, Aquapure's Christmas coupon special, going on now. Call 394-7873 or order online at aquapure242.com.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Power on the holidays this Christmas with Custom Computers. We have everything that everyone wants to see under the tree. Laptops, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watches, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Find gifts for every reason this Christmas season at Custom Computers. Visit us on Patton Street in Palmdale opposite Liquid Courage or in Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance. The best Christmas has to offer is right here at your one-stop shop, Custom Computers.
Did you know that using contactless payments with your MasterCard helps plant trees around the globe? Join MasterCard in its commitment to making the world a better place and taking action against climate change. Every contactless transaction with your MasterCard contributes to planting 100 million trees in 5 years in geographies with the most need. Tap your MasterCard contactless to make a difference, and together we can start something priceless. Visit mastercardba.worldcoo.com for more information.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this final Thursday of 2022. My goodness. All right, so we are talking about what's in the National Guardian today, and FTX debtors want donations returned. Listen to the language. We're not sure if this will apply to what's happened in the Bahamas, but this is what the U.S. arm of FTX, which is currently in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they want everyone who received contributions from FTX to either voluntarily return the money or face legal action. All right, so we're getting your responses to it. We've had a few calls. Let's get to your text messages or tweets or Facebook messages. And someone says here, so when you buy something that's stolen in good faith, are you not responsible? But I don't think they will go after the charities. It's not really ever been done in fraud cases. You pretty much leave charities alone. Now, if there are donations to government programs, that's a different story. Oh, yeah? What's a different story? Why would that be? And they go on to say...
Paying for ballrooms, that's a different story.
Well... for a future king of England, right? To make a visit to, bizarre. But they go on to in response to what C. Allen was saying. They're saying this isn't a clawback case, though. Clawback is only when you had some stake in the company, whether employee or board member or shareholder, for instance, and you caused some loss to the company so they can trace back to you. Clawback law can't be used on charities. They had no interest in the company. They have to be sued in civil court. All right, so this is increasingly going to become one of these situations. We're going to have a team of lawyers with us whenever we talk about anything to do with FTX, so we can, and then lawyers with expertise in different jurisdictions too, so that we can understand exactly what the intricacies are in each place. But my goodness, okay. This message here, this text, we need to send them that video of the singing bishop. Money gone. Yeah, I think they would like that. No, I don't. Anyway, another one. We're going to start a GoFundMe page for the Singing Bishop or not?
The Singing Bishop's video could be submitted as evidence.
Yeah. Okay. Another one here. The great United States have citizens whose money has been misappropriated. I'm not sure. I'm sure those citizens don't care what their money was spent on. They just want it back. Uncle Sam will always defend their citizens. Okay. This one says here, Dwight, to me, they are overreaching. Whenever any business fails, the shareholders never expect to receive total investment back. By the time the lawyers and liquidators are paid, there would be very little left for those investors. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yep. It's probably standard procedure to do this.
To say it.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll take them.
They may not. Like, I think somebody said they might not even pursue it.
It would take quite a while to go after all of those, right? Yeah, and to find them. This one says here, the challenge is that the money was not his. He stole it from the investors. Another person says, everybody's losing sight of the customer. If this was your money that you spent a lifetime accumulating and Sam gave it to the bishop, would you say, oh, Lawrence Roll's a good guy, I'll leave it alone? The customers want their money back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Well, then the liquidators and the Chapter 11 guys should just do this case pro bono then.
Ha!
Because the millions of dollars they about to make.
Wow. Another, before we go to the news, the FTX scheme was not a joint Ponzi partnership with the recipients of those donations. The FTX is the only liable one, I think you're trying to say. However, a thieving idea was the root evil, and all the investors wanting something for nothing. I think you get what they're trying to say. Another one says, it's always easy to bully the small man, eh? Why don't they go after the political campaigns that got donations? They're talking about everybody. That's what they're saying. Anybody who got contributions should come forward before they come after you.
Did that texter before that person suggest that these people knew what they were getting themselves into by investing in tokens and so they deserved it?
No, I don't think that's what they were saying. Although you never know. I don't think that's what they were saying. But they were hoping to get easy money. I think that's what he's suggesting. But anyway, we got to go to the news. We'll be back. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got high pressure that continues to build across the islands, while slight troughing just east of the central Bahamas will produce isolated shower activity over the northwest and central islands through tonight. Beachgoers and swimmers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, we're looking at variably cloudy and breezy conditions with a few isolated showers. That will continue through tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny and breezy, with a slight chance of passing isolated showers, becoming fair and breezy tonight. For boaters throughout the country, small craft caution remains in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius, and we'll continue to see that gradual warming throughout the remainder of the week, these last few days of 2022. Overnight lows tonight, though, getting down about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure continues to dominate weather across the islands, generating warmer and drier conditions. So for Friday, partly sunny, warm, and a bit breezy, with a chance of a few isolated showers, becoming fair and breezy at night. Saturday, New Year's Eve, sunny and warm, becoming fair and mild at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. It's time for another check of the traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. And in your real-time traffic this morning, as you said, it's been a wonderful past few days, these final few days of 2022, and not much to talk about in early morning traffic. Just a bit of slight congestion near Carmichael and Blue Hill as you make your way to the junction with Soldier Road. Otherwise, really not much to talk about. You'll see maybe a few cars in front of you at some of the major intersections, but it's a pretty wonderful and smooth commute for you this morning if you do have to go to work. Apparently, quite a few people don't. But things will likely change next week, so get ready for that. But that's your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Which group is this producer? Who? One Family? Yeah, from Just Gone, or this is a few years back? Okay, that's good stuff there. Nice. I haven't seen the stream. Chester Robards, thank you for being here with us this morning.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So we've been talking about FTX. We're going to leave that there because there's a lot of speculation. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're just letting you know what's going on. And thank you for all your responses there. There are other things we want to talk about, though, on this Thursday morning. And there's some crime information. And you might have heard it on the news or seen the video. I just saw it this morning of these teenagers in Grand Bahama attacking a security guard. That's some wild stuff there. We'll get to that in a moment. And we've got to talk about ZNS, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, and Cable Bahamas, and this back and forth about Junkanoo and who had the right to broadcast and what, and who's accusing whom of whatever. We'll get into that. And the Tourism and Aviation Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, responding to the U.S. airlines that are accusing the Bahamas of charging exorbitant fees for airspace usage. All of that, a lot to get to this morning. But let's just get to this very interesting crime story here. RRT's Davis writing about this. Man charged with attempted murder and violating bail condition. Just every time we read these court stories, you have to scratch your head, what are we doing? So this is the story. A man on bail on a murder charge. Yep, is back in custody after he was accused of attempted murder and violating his bail conditions. 20-year-old Mauricio Webster of 2nd Street, The Grove, appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney in connection with the December 18th shooting of Adam Newbold on East Street. Webster, who was on bail for the December 23rd, 2020 shooting death of Bradley Strachan on Peter Street, was not required to enter a plea to the charge. Bail was denied because the magistrate lacked the authority to consider bail for the offense. However, Webster can seek bail in the Supreme Court. He returns to court on March 1st to receive a voluntary bill of indictment. Webster was fined and placed on probation for failing to charge his electronic monitoring device on 5 occasions in December in violation of his bail conditions. Webster breached his bail on December 5th, 7th, 15th, 18th, and 19th by not charging his device when the battery was low. He was fined $3,000 for the breaches and will serve a default sentence of 6 months in prison if the fines aren't paid. Should he commit any other bail breaches during the 18-month-long probationary period, he will serve 1 year. 1 year in prison. Yeah. So he's charged with attempted murder as well, but the bail. Damn. Okay, so is it just me? No, making a big deal of nothing.
So you get so many occasions not to charge your bracelet?
Yeah, and you get a fine. But he came back to court because he's also charged with attempted murder. But he get the fine. I don't know what goes on here. I don't understand it. And if he commits any more while he's on probation, because he's getting what? This is what, the 4th chance now? What is this? Oh man. Maybe it's just me.
But if you violated your ankle monitoring requirements like so many times,
yeah,
you wouldn't be out to be on another charge. I just don't understand.
It's not making any sense. What are we doing? We all need to be on the same page. Maybe it makes sense to somebody. Let us know what you think is going to happen. What do you want? What this is? I don't get it. Okay. Anyway, just letting you know. So you hear what's going on out there. Yeah. You can respond, folks. What do you make of it? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Boy, this person says here, we are being so lenient with these criminals. That's why the country is in a lawless state. We can see it daily, young and old. Make it make sense. Yeah. Another on our Facebook page. So trying to kill people don't matter. Well, he has to go back to court for that one, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's been denied bail, but he can seek it in the Supreme Court. But, well, I guess we have to wait to see what the Supreme Court, what they do there. If they say, no, clearly you aren't serious. And, even allegedly. But you, allegedly aren't serious. And so then, but right, so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But this
the fact that he wasn't just thrown in jail for so many violations of his monitoring is baffling.
No, we got to make sure we treat, we do right by them. Got to give them more chances. More chances. Okay. Anyway, so while that's happening, chaos in Grand Bahama, the Grand Lucayan, the Port Lucayan marketplace, right? I think that's where that was. Maybe you saw the video. Take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
4 teenage boys, 2 age 15 and 2 age 16, appeared before a magistrate in Freeport earlier today, where they faced 1 count each of causing harm. According to Grand Bahama Police Press Liaison Officer ASP Stephen Roll, the boys didn't enter pleas to the charges and were remanded to the Central Police Station on Grand Bahama until Thursday, when they're expected back before a judge. The incident unfolded on Christmas Eve at Port Lucaya Marketplace. Police were alerted that a 48-year-old security officer was being attacked by the teens.
Central report came out. The police conducted an investigation, and as a result, they were arrested 4 juveniles at this time who were charged and will appear before courts.
Video of the incident went viral on social media. In the nearly 30-second clip, a group of young men pummel the security officer with punches. One of the teens can even be seen landing a jumping kick. The juveniles eventually walk off as the officer struggles to his feet. The Nassau Guardian understands that the attack took place after the officer reprimanded the teens. Roll says police want to talk to 2 more of the boys to see how they can assist with the investigation. He had this message for parents who allow their kids to go out in public without supervision.
My only advice is to the parents of young men, particularly, who tends to allow their kids to go out in those type of settings, to please speak to your children, advise them how to conduct themselves on your presence. And if they have to go out in group settings, please make sure that there's an appropriate adult accompany these young boys to avoid these type of incidents from happening.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Okay. Interesting advice from the police there. Speak to your children and see if there can be an adult to accompany them. Yeah, that's right. Let's hear what you have to say. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, it's Dwight in Chester. A Merry Christmas to you all and Merry Christmas to the nation.
Yes, you too.
Merry Christmas.
I actually wanted to make a comment on the Alive matter.
The what, sorry?
The Alive matter. You said that was one of the discussion?
Yeah, not quite there yet. We'll be there in a few minutes.
In a few minutes? Okay, I'll just fall back.
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. All right. And text us, 422-4796. Some text messages on this. Someone says here, we must remember that bail is a guarantee for parents, not a form of punishment. Sure, we get that. But, again, if you've been accused of multiple things, I don't understand why you're still getting bail. That's just my issue, right? Of course, maybe the police out to get you, and they're going to try to frame you for everything, sure. And that's why you've been accused of so many crimes, because they don't like you. Right, perhaps. But if there's a pattern, and, pay attention to the pattern, and then don't come with, we got all these people getting killed out on bail, or these people committing murders out on bail. Yeah, well, okay. What are you going to do? Just every few months cry about it? Or do something? But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. This one's back in jail. He was denied bail. We'll see if he gets bail again. Another one here.
He wasn't denied bail yet. He was
denied in the magistrate's court. But he can seek bail in the Supreme Court.
Not even denied. The magistrate's court wasn't allowed to.
Exactly. Well, they're not allowed to. Yes, they don't have the authority.
Authority.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're thinking, what are you thinking? Supreme Court will say,
no,
just keep that keep that ankle bracelet charged. Mm-hmm.
No way, could never happen.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be it.
You got to take some bets.
No, I don't bet.
You don't bet. Oh, okay. Good stuff. This person says they are 16-year-olds. These are 16-year-olds. What adult is going to accompany them? Well, they're going to lose the adult. That's what they're going to say. Or do what they did to that security guard, to that adult. This person says, Dwight, as a nation, we will be outraged by the Grand Bahama teen fighting thing, but trust me, by Monday, we will have moved on. No, by tomorrow morning, if not this afternoon. If not already. People are wondering, why are we talking about this? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good early days. This is Strachan voice along with you and Chester, Dwight.
Hi.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. Let me say a couple of things, which is two. The government is allow migrants to come into this country and don't check.
Oh, boy.
Okay? That is wrong. Other point is, right? This is with a question. Those children are of original Bahamian or what? We want to know. Because I can't understand Bahamian men and women allowing their children to be carried on in such manner.
When we were
growing up...
Berryman, please.
Say it again?
Please stop. What are you talking about?
My point is, when we was children, we couldn't carry on like that among grown-ups. Okay? And I taught my grandchildren and my children the same thing. Okay? And there are a lot of Bahamian children in church. They will never get to that. We want to know what's happening in our country. Thank you.
Okay. I hear you. Well, I mean, we know that wasn't the case for everybody. We know that. We know that. And it's not the case for everybody now either. It's not going to be, there are going to be people who are outraged and they have not raised their children like that. But to make it something about foreigners or migrants or immigrants, that strikes me like burying heads in the sand as well. We have issues across the board with people in this country and the way they're raising their children. We know that. Boy. This texter, 16 years old, that's not a kid. It shouldn't be considered children. I was 16 in COB. That's an adult man. That's a text. Yeah, I agree. You know fully well what you're doing at 16. You know fully well. You might still make mistakes. People making mistakes at 50, but you know what you're doing, and you know there will be consequences. So, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight and Stephen.
Chester. Good morning.
I'm in Chester. Sorry, Chester. I started the day off wrong. Listen, those 16-year-olds, we really need to tighten up. I agree with Raymond to a certain extent that we need law, order and justice in this country. 16-year-olds should not be allowed to go out anywhere unattended by an adult. We need to tighten up on those laws. They should not be allowed to go out. You understand? I got one.
Yeah, but that's any time of day, or you're talking about at night or something?
Any kind of event, unless it's a school event with they haven't, ring play and merry-go-round and things, they should not be allowed to go to those type of places without an adult. They're 16. They need to be 18. So the singing bishop,
That's
Lord, I feel sorry. He got to sing another song, Dwight and Chester. He got to sing a song that says, "Oh Lord, where I can get this loan from? Because I got to pay back." Thanks for taking my call.
Well, we'll see. All right, so that's interesting what he said, though, the beginning part. So, so the texter said, at 16, he was at COB. Same thing with me. I was at COB at 16. So what's that supposed to mean? We had night classes. Some of my classes didn't end till 8 o'clock. So what does that mean? Right? Is that, what about 17? I don't know if you still can get a permit. Can you get a permit? Yeah, but you need an adult in the car when you have a permit.
I'm sure at 16, I was hanging out in places with my friends by myself.
So
like maybe my mom would drop me. We lived around the corner from the bowling alley, so we would walk there.
Yeah, I think that's a bit extreme, but
we just weren't little criminals.
Right, you weren't going to be attacking the security guard if he asked you
Exactly.
what y'all doing in here.
We were brought up a little better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's not pretend like everybody was brought up like that back then. Several people who would have done the same thing back then, because this is not new. This isn't new. We've had bad apples, whole giant bad orchards for a long time, right? And the cameras, these phones are making us believe that this is something new. It's been going on. It's just that we have documentation daily of how we've been. And we've seen this. People have been warned. People were warning from that time in the 90s. Remember they used to talk about Generation X? You remember that? And how we were going to ruin the world and all these things?
Yep.
And we were lost. And, right? So, and Generation X, like preschoolers compared to these younger folks now. Right? Anyway, got to do a whole show on Generation X and what people thought was going to come out of Generation X and what Generation X is doing today. But there was no hope for the world because of Generation X. These MTV-loving losers who were just sitting around, right? But so we've had these issues, and there were probably issues long before Generation X as well. But what are we going to do? Every generation, exactly. What are we going to do? We're going to sit around for 20 years and talk about it, or we're going to actually do something, right? We've been talking about the family, getting in there. We've been trying to figure out whether we need to be very active and get in the problem homes and tell people what to do, which is scary, or, gently nudge them. Some have been gently nudging, and it doesn't seem to be working. But is it time for serious intervention? Can we handle that? What say you, caller? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi.
Morning.
I was so distraught this morning after hearing that report. In fact, I saw the video online with the young person, whoever shot the video of that security officer being attacked. And the outcome of that, there's two things that comes to my mind. Firstly, these persons who stand aside with these cell phones, should they also be charged with just standing there and not doing anything? Because basically, if you listen in the background, there was a lot of taunting, a lot of laughing and everything. No one tried to even help the security officer from being attacked. I think the laws in this case, based upon what I'm hearing, I think is too lenient. I believe that we must put more teeth into the law, because that could have been not just an attack, that could have turned into a murder situation, even if not intended. The whole impact of that is What message is it that we want to send to these young people that the behavior is not acceptable? It isn't like they don't know that. They already know. But what are the penalties? How harsh are we going to make these penalties? You can't stop it, but at least you could try and help to slow it down or curtail it, letting them think a second or a third time before they do these things to other people. I mean, that is totally unacceptable,
Yeah.
I just believe that the law is just too slack. Treating them at 16 as juveniles, I don't think so. If they are that intent to do the crime, then they should do the time. We got to fix the systems, man. But anyway, that's all I want to say this morning.
All right.
Just continue the great work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And we've been saying it here. I know that will likely require law changes, but we ask about it. It's a time for serious cases for juveniles to be charged as adults and treated like adults, named, and have it all out there instead of protecting in these light sentences. Right. At halfway out homes, I don't know what to call them, but you know what I mean. Is it working? Is it doing anything? So much needs to be done. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Happy holidays.
Same to you.
What we know as kids, right? They're not adults until they reach the age 18. Some of these kids in these homes, they're an adult from the age 12 to 13. Okay? I have the privilege of sometimes seeing these children talk to their mother like a husband or a boyfriend. Some of these parents, these children, some of them are very uncontrollable. And calling them kids is a laugh to the face. So what I would say, the parents are still responsible. When you notice you have kids in your home who are trying to control you or take over, then that's your responsibility to go and seek help for them. Because in the event, something is going to come out of it and you're going to be held responsible. So again, that's where the parents come in. But they say supervise or they...
Are you there? Not sure what happened. Okay, we lost her. All right, but I think we got where she was going. All right. Yeah, somebody texted that as well, that some of these parents are afraid of their little monsters, that's how they put it. But, they didn't just become little monsters when they turned 15, 16.
Yep.
They were on this path.
That behavior was learned.
Right. You could see it from they were 5 months old. Like, this child's going to be a mess.
Possibly because they are imitating behavior they're seeing.
That's right. You better believe it. They see how mom or dad is when they're driving and how they talk to people, how they talk to security guards, how they carried on with that shop clerk. Right?
How mom and dad talk to them.
Oh.
In their early stages.
Absolutely.
Well, possibly just mom. And young Grammy.
Yes, sadly. Let's read some messages before we take a break. This person says here, I believe we should use the situation with the boys in Port Lucaya as a strong example. Stiff penalties should be imposed, such as community service, public apology, jail, or Simpson pen, and the like.
How many examples do we need?
Yeah. Jail might be the least effective one there, but community service and... maybe. This person says this is back to the bail situation, most devices indicate when the battery is dying. However, there are complaints that these new devices, electronic monitoring devices, do not indicate or beep like previous EMDs. Maybe this is contributing to the breaches. Yeah, maybe. There was that the guy who that came up in a court case, right? Something was defective with his, and yet he was still charged. He was able to beat that charge because he could prove that the fault was with the device.
You ain't got nothing else better to do than to monitor your monitor.
Well,
no excuses.
You'd be surprised. But anyway, this person says, let's wait for the parents on TV crying and saying, no, my good son, he didn't bother nobody.
I'm going to start a T-shirt company called My Good Son T-shirt. and Co.
Oh boy. Wow.
All striped T-shirts.
Yikes. Okay. Are people supposed to buy those?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Sure. This one says here, that security guard is an authority figure, and what they did is inexcusable. The full weight of the law should be brought against those 16-year-old men in caps. Let their mom cry, good child. Mm-hmm. This other one says here, the problem is that the law takes too long to deal with low-hanging fruit. The public has done its job and provided video evidence. The miscreants should have been charged and convicted by now. They were taken to court already, yep.
Weren't those guys who were lined off on Bay Street getting spanked by the police? Weren't they young as well? Remember that video?
Yeah, well, the police say that they prefer to deal with it. Remember, they said they prefer to deal with it like that. That swift justice there, the public flogging.
This is nothing.
We should follow up. Where are those kids today? Did they learn from that? Getting recorded, getting spanked by the police after Junkanoo? Are you wonderful, upstanding citizens now, or are you known to the police now? Which one is it? Anyway, they go on to say, if we can't have swift justice for proved offenses, it tells you what will happen for those that are hard to prove. We should be talking about swift justice. Yes, but it's got to be a fair and fair and equitable and swift justice. It just can't be any old thing. Right, because I don't know. Another text. Until grown men in the House of Assembly are held to a standard and responsible for their actions, how can they want to hold kids responsible? We've got to start at the top. I think we can start everywhere. Start everywhere. Just start. And this text as we go to the break. Those boys knew better. They know the difference between right and wrong, and so the punishment needs to be enforced. There has to be consequences, otherwise we are just breeding criminals. And another one, I find it interesting that when boys beat up a guard, we want to jail them, but when girls run away, we want to hide that fact. What now?
Huh?
What is... First of all, I don't know who's hiding any facts. Every week there's a posting about a missing teenage girl, right? But I mean, what does that have to do with beating up people?
What is that comparison?
Yeah, well, I don't understand. What are you saying? Huh? Okay. Oh, boy. See, that's it right there. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem right there.
Conflating issues.
My God. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. When we come back, we'll talk about that ZNS and Cable Bahamas, their issue, and more. Stay with us.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. To RBC, get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
Man, Christmas right around the corner, but you still get loan gifts to buy.
Boy, BTC got the best postpaid deals from $44.99.
You thinking about signing up for a postpaid plan, do you?
It's easy. You get unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook for free, and it don't come from the data in your package. I signed up for a $64.99 plan, and they give me a free phone. That promotion going on right now.
This Christmas, get great handset offers and unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook for free when you sign up for any postpaid plan. Link up today.
Link up!
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
Power on the holidays this Christmas with Custom Computers. We have everything that everyone wants to see under the tree. Laptops, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watches, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Find gifts for every reason this Christmas season at Custom Computers. Visit us on Patton Street in Palmdale, opposite Liquid Courage, or in Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance. The best Christmas has to offer is right here at your one-stop shop, Custom Computers.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards on this Thursday morning. Okay, Chester, so that text before the break has started something. And here it goes. We knew it was not going to be far behind the misogyny. All right, so yeah, remember the text? I find it interesting when boys beat up a guard, we want them jailed. But when girls run away, we want to hide that fact. The text was just come back with. I was simply saying that we don't have equal consequences for boys and girls. Well, equal consequences when the thing that they did wrong was on an equal level. That running away is not the same as assaulting and beating someone up, right? Regardless of what they're running toward. There's something going on, and you got to get to the bottom of that. And another texter came back after that. These girls need to be getting jailed when they run away as well. In most cases, they get shielded. In this day and age, they know what they're doing from 16 and younger. Jailed. Yeah? That makes sense. Ah, boy. Okay. All right. Now, what do you make of that? What do you make of that, Chester? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyway, if you have any comments, give us a call. 323-62. That's a whole other show. We don't want to take up the time with all that. But 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Boy. Here we go. All right. Running away tells me that you were there, but you didn't agree with their actions. What? No? What? What's happening? Okay. Let's steer this ship back away from the rocks and back to where we need it to be. All right. So we're going to break for news in a second, but we'll pick it up afterward. But yeah, it's time to get to the Cable Bahamas and Broadcasting Corporation saga. Now, Cable Bahamas finally issued a statement yesterday, and the statement has left many scratching their heads as like, wait, what? Huh? This makes less sense than we thought it would. And cause others to be denying what they're saying as well. And D. Dame's writing about it in today's National Guardian. Cable Bahamas group of companies saying yesterday that it was disappointed by the accusations levied by the Broadcasting Corporation, which accused Cable of intruding on ZNS's broadcast of the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. The statement from Cable Bahamas said, quote, CBL is committed to providing exemplary coverage of Junkanoo, not just to Bahamians, but to the world at large. Mm-hmm. The BCB was aware of and breached the terms of our broadcasting conditions for the Boxing Day celebrations. As a result, Rev TV subscribers on 4 islands, New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera, were directed to watch the live broadcast of the Boxing Day Parade on Rev Channel 212 for a limited period at the beginning of the segment. This was not an anti-competition tactic, as was suggested by the BCB. Cable Bahamas said that as a partner of Alive, it has made significant contributions to getting Junkanoo back to the people through multi-year, multi-million-dollar sponsorship of Junkanoo. And then this part is one of the head-scratching moments. It said, quote, it is unfortunate that other media broadcasters and their partners, by all of their actions thus far, have attempted to hijack the hard work of our contributions and those of the Junkanoo groups. What? Who? How? Other media broadcasters. Are you talking about ZNS there, or why might I just say that? Okay. But Cable Bahamas...
I'm still confused by this.
That's very weird. And they said that, they didn't say what the breach was and what the agreement was and who knew about this agreement because nobody seems
clearly
to know.
ZNS didn't know.
No, ZNS didn't know. Their chairman, or they're pretending like they don't, but their chairman, Paisel Forbes, accused Cable Bahamas of intruding on the broadcast, and Forbes denied.
JCNP said they had nothing to do with it.
No, right. And so the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture and the Prime Minister was saying at the parade that he was hoping it was going to be sorted out, and it took quite a few hours before ZNS's coverage was allowed
I
to
imagine
air.
nobody likes egg on their face. Nobody. So even if they did know, or somebody made some agreement with Alive and Cable Bahamas to allow them to be the sole broadcaster, why would you not say anything? This is very strange.
Right. That would have been broadcast. They would have promoted that because, right, if you have Cable Bahamas, they would have to tell you, hey, we are going to be a source, right? And that was never stated. In fact, as I mentioned yesterday, when the chairman of the JCNP was on this show, he said you will have the option of ZNS and Cable Bahamas to watch our TV. You'll have both options. So where this
was that a question that was asked?
He brought it up because you just normally assume it was ZNS, right?
That's a bit strange.
You will have the option because
sometimes they share feeds, right, on national events.
Sometimes, but that wasn't the case here. So this is very weird, and Cable Bahamas needs to explain a lot more. And
but that's fair and fine enough, right? If it was the case that they were able to be the sole broadcasters for Junkanoo because they are the big sponsor, fine.
No, well,
but so they're still leaving out a very important part that I think everybody wants answered. You can't just block out a station's feed.
Well, you could. If you were the cable provider, you're the cable provider, you could.
No, but that just doesn't seem.
But the challenge is you blocked it out to direct people to your channel.
But that's my point.
Without letting them know. I mean, it's happened before. Cable operators, cable and satellite providers do that all over. And they direct you where to go, and they tell you, you in this market, you can't get this here. You have to go there. But
you're talking about something that sounds very, very different.
No, not really. But people would know. You just don't take it upon yourself. There's a reason why this is done, and we know that's going to happen, right? You know this. You just don't do it on your own. That's the problem. And then they're talking about a limited time. What limited time? That happened. It came back after people started making noise. And it came back many hours after. You didn't tell people for the first 2 hours it's going to be off and then we'll be back at 8. No, it just said go to 212. So we don't understand the statement at all. It is not making any sense. And they're leaving off many important details. And they seem to have had a meeting with themselves to decide that because they're sponsoring the parade, that they get to be the sole broadcaster. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And who's denying that you've made great contributions to John Canoe? Nobody. But that doesn't mean that you get to be the sole broadcaster of the thing. It can't work like that. And it's very curious to see if this will be resolved in time for New Year's. But we need more. That wasn't sufficient. And IRCA still hasn't said anything.
What resolution though? What resolution are you looking for? Like, if they can show some paperwork that says everyone under the sun has decided that you are the sole broadcaster for John Canoe because you're the biggest sponsor, then fine.
But that's not even what it is, because folks who don't have Cable Bahamas, if you have BTC Flow, you were able to see it. And so they just wanted to block ZNS on their cable network.
I see. So ZNS's broadcast never stopped.
It was going on. You could watch it online or on Flow.
Oh, okay.
But you couldn't see it on Cable Bahamas.
Mm.
And then we joined them in progress.
Well, then that doesn't even. And again, like somebody said, if you still have some rabbit ears, you could have picked it up, right?
Yes, if you over the year.
So that still doesn't make you the sole broadcaster for John Canoe.
Because they're not. They absolutely aren't.
So
they
what's the
absolutely
point?
aren't. But they wanted to block them out on their cable system. Very, very odd.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah,
We're going to pick this up on the other side after the news. We want to get your comments on this. And we want to hear from all of you, especially folks who called in early, wanted to talk about it. We want to hear from you there. This is Morning Blend. Stay with us.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Tap and go, tap to that, for you, for me. Makes life easy. Lotus bringing the heat. Lotus, tap and go, tap to that. Swipe this, swipe that, and go. Scan this, scan that, and go. Save money every day. Anytime for life on the go. Tap and go. Get your rewards for life on the go. Lotus, tap and go. Tap to that.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, December 29th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this Thursday morning, filling in for Laverne Gardner. And we're talking about what's in the business world in the Bahamas. Today, we are picking up the conversation we had just before the break about the Cable Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. Cable saying that ZNS was in breach of a contract for them to broadcast Boxing Day Junkanoo, but nobody else seems to know about this. And Cable not providing any details about this contract, which nobody heard about. So we're all confused and trying to piece it together. ZNS says they're going to be meeting with their lawyers today to discuss the way forward. Chester, I'm surprised we have not heard from IRCA as yet. We know that
January 3rd.
Sorry?
Huh?
What? What was that?
IRCA's closed until January 3rd.
Are you joking, or are you is that a joke?
Well, that's what their website says.
Oh dear. Oh, okay.
December 21st they closed and they reopen January 3rd.
Oh, I see. Well, aren't they lucky? Okay, well, then it's not a surprise. We haven't heard from IRCA yet. Wow. And that's very interesting. Okay. Well,
Other places wish they could get a nice holiday like that.
I tell you. Well, isn't that special? Okay. Anyway, so I guess we'll see what happens next week. But let's get your reaction to what's happening here. The odd statement that they released about the contribution, the significant contribution Alive has made, their partner Alive, Cable Bahamas, has made to getting Junkanoo back, the multi-year, multi-million-dollar sponsorship. Okay. And they're saying other media broadcasters and their partners are attempting to hijack the hard work of the contributions and those of the Junkanoo groups. What?
Broadcasting conditions for Boxing Day celebrations. Conditions.
Oh, boy. Well, again, Pikesville Forbes, the chairman of the Broadcasting Corporation, denying that the BCB breached any agreement with Cable and said the corporation officials will meet with their lawyers today and the minister responsible, Miles LaRota. Just odd. And again, will this be cleared up for New Year's Day? What's going to happen? Will they try to block them again? Will we see the contract that was allegedly signed or agreed to before then? We don't have much time. And everyone else is also claiming that they don't know what's going on, right? The Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence says they don't know how that could be. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture says they don't know how that could be. Why would they have exclusive broadcast rights? How is that possible? How could you block them? Why? What? How? We're all asking. Caller, do you have any answers? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Dwight, you know something? I don't know what kind of country this is you running, man. We got people in positions, and I mean, man, Dwight, I feel so sad, man. And I watching a lot of things from my WhatsApp and Facebook. We got to run our country better than we run the country, man. We playing games. We are laughing stock, We may be talking bad to some other people in the South. These things will happen in the country, man. That's all I can say, man.
Well, okay. I hear you. I mean, crazier things happen. But we've got a lot of things to work on. Absolutely. A lot of things to work on. Here's a text, and you can text us as well, 422-4796. You can call in, too. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us. The text says, there's just too much cloak and dagger in this country over what should be public information. If Cable Bahamas blocked a signal and it's the subject of a dispute, they should be able to say, quote, we signed an agreement that gave us sole rights to broadcast Junkanoo before 8 p.m. I don't know why anyone would sign that, but okay. There's literally no need for this to be a secret. Yeah, absolutely, and that would have been promoted if it were the case. You know that. They would have said, we are your only choice. We are your only option for this, but
That is very weird.
Extremely. This person says, and maybe the language is buried somewhere deep in the contract that allowed for them to have exclusive rights to sell the tickets.
Contract with who?
Yeah. See, that's a flawed. I understand you, and you might be onto something. I can't understand it though. Again, they didn't promote this, and that is really hard to believe. But it wouldn't work like that if they did. ZNS is seen all over, right, on their platforms, on their social media, and on the competing cable network. So Flow, BTC's Flow. It wasn't. They were still allowed to do that there. If you have an exclusive contract, that isn't going to make it exclusive for you on your cable system. That's very strange. Just the weirdest thing I've heard, and I can't even imagine that they would think that would be sensible.
And the point of the exclusivity when it comes to these kinds of things is you get to sell advertising and tell people this is the only place they're going to find this event.
Yeah.
So you are going to be seen by the most people. But if it's the case that, ZNS still has the right to broadcast in other areas, then you don't have anything special.
Not a thing. Bizarre. Very bizarre.
It's very bizarre. And I just don't understand how John Canoe is considered a national event, right? I think there was a question about that yesterday. I was listening to Aaron's show, and it made me think, is it considered a national event?
What does that mean?
What does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, you can buy exclusive rights. It can happen. You can pay for it. You could, right? Not everybody carries the Super Bowl.
It probably needs to be super expensive.
Yeah, right?
Not a sponsorship.
create a bidding war. Make them bid to carry it. Yeah. And make money off that. Absolutely. And put that back into the groups. Yeah, since y'all both want it so bad, or everybody, maybe the other networks will want to get in on it too. You got to pay. Who's going to do it? Who's got the bid? Sure, but or leave it open. Let the competition do it. Let people decide where they want to watch it. Anyone,
right? But I wouldn't think it would come as part of a sponsorship package. There would be a separate thing,
right? You know how dangerous that could be if you do it like that. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh boy.
And if it was part of a multi-year sponsorship package with the JCNP, which they say they don't know anything about it, then they may have undersold their package.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the texture might be onto something. It could be in the fine print. By agreeing to have us be the title sponsor, you agree to allow us to be the sole provider on our cable network of the broadcasting rights to the parade. But that is in some tiny font.
Did we miss that? Did they miss that?
Yeah, maybe. But to say that the ZNS agreed to that, and that was right there.
Maybe it was an electronic contract where you had to click to open the terms and conditions. But who wants to do that?
Or you have like 25 pages to scroll through and like just click at the bottom. I agree. Yes. Right. That's probably it. Good Lord. But again, it's sneaky that they didn't promote it, right? And as folks were saying, that screen they put up was, that wasn't slapped together.
Maybe if some of the advertisers are listening, maybe someone could text in and tell us, did they tell you that you would only be seen, or Junkin would only be seen on that channel? Only? That's a question.
Let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, a godly day again to you and, of course, the universe. And, of course, yes, you all are very intelligent guys. I listen to you all. Let me show you something. Nobody has rights to the drunkenu groups. What it is, the leaders dragging the groups into politics. The majority of people that rushes, they get nothing. We does it for love. We takes our own money and pay to have our costume the way we want it, okay? But what I've listened to, I listened to Fred Mitchell earlier on your show, right? Probably the news. Let me show you something. He tried to clean up something. He tried to get a hold of the Drunkenu groups, okay? But nope, not even Walla have rights, exclusive rights over the Saxons, okay? Neither Phil Cooper. You see, those guys got to get themselves together with the Drunkeners, with the guys and gals that rush, and come to a conclusion, okay? Because it's a bunch of, this situation showing a bunch of nastiness with all of the leaders in the country today.
Are we talking about the same thing?
Yes, we are.
You're talking about the broadcast rights?
Of course, including Drunkenu.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, sure. Well, does it go down to the groups? They're involved in this decision making? Okay. I don't know. Wow. This person says here, Cable Bahamas is a Christmas Scrooge. The old people can't even watch Junkanu or any Bahamian content. If you can't afford cable, then you ain't important. Cable Bahamas is not a corporate philanthropist. If they make Junkanu a bargaining fight, I will never rush again. How dare they make money from my sweat and sacrifice? I think some people are talking about some different, mixing up them things here. Yeah? So they're thinking that there's big money being paid out for stuff, but I'm not sure. Let's not jump to conclusions here. We're just talking about
whether or not they had the right to do what they did.
Yes. So,
and if they did, why are we hearing about it in this way? Why was it gone about it in this way? Why was it? It's just confusing.
Absolutely. This texter says here, morning, Dwight. Orca needs to cut their vacation short and convene an emergency meeting ASAP. Something. They need to say something. Absolutely. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
So, once again, calling for a second time to show which regularly I don't do. But my 2 cents in this whole thing, it's going to be quite interesting to see what those, or hear what those breaches are that one party is saying that the other party committed. I believe what should happen is that if, this thing reminds me of, there's some jurisdictions that do blackout programs to get, the sole benefit of airing programs. And most times you'll find that happens with PPV or pay-per-view. But in this particular instance, because we are devoid of the facts, we are devoid of the information that may have accumulated to this point where we are now, it's going to be quite interesting to hear what those breaches were and to the extent of the breaches and that created this problem that we are going, that this issue that both parties seem to have. So I'm going to delay judgment on anything, but I'm just waiting to hear what the facts are in this whole matter. So thanks for taking my call again this morning.
All right, thanks. Well, like I said, it's not an unusual thing. Just last night, I mentioned it earlier, right? Watching the Heat game. They're still playing the FTX Arena. That game was on NBA TV. This is not on Cable Bahamas, though. But it was on NBA TV, and it was blacked out in my area. And I was directed to what used to be the Sunshine Network. Anyway, it's one of the regional networks for sports that covers Miami, South Florida sports. So for that region, this was blacked out here. You had to go there. But that is an arrangement that's made because we cover these sports. So when it's here, you watch it on our station. And everybody knows. It's not a surprise. That's how it is. You just don't take it upon yourself to, no, you can't compete with us. We're going to block you or black you out and drive you to this place.
But so the thing is, though, if they didn't have exclusive rights to broadcast in general, the parade, right? If it was just about Cable Bahamas' channels and ZNS just carried through their regular broadcast, which, like you said, is also on Flow, then isn't it the cable station, isn't it their job to do what they I mean, you wouldn't expect ZNS to stop their cable broadcast because I don't know if they could do it from their station. They probably could, but you know what I'm saying?
No.
You understand what I'm getting at?
No, not really.
If they did have an agreement, if that existed,
no one believes that.
Right. No one believes it. But if it existed, then what's the hullabaloo about? But again, because ZNS and everyone else is reacting the way they are,
I can't believe that they would agree to something like that.
Yeah.
It's they still have quite a lot of people who subscribe to Cable Bahamas, and that's a lot of audience that you would be giving up potentially. And
also like what?
And also,
wouldn't there have to be some kind of signed agreement between Cable Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation?
And they would have, I would imagine, as broadcasters who've been in this for years, they would have announced this, right?
Right.
If you have this, you aren't gonna be able to see us here, but you can watch us here or like this or online. Right. And the others would have touted that they would have been the only place if you are a cable subscriber, Cable Bahamas subscriber. Right. This will be the only place for you to watch.
So I would love to know, we got a couple more minutes left on the show. If somebody advertised on Cable Bahamas, were you told that this was the only place that you could watch John Canoe?
Yeah. Let's see if this caller knows. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good. I'm broadcasted loosely bad. First of all, are they broadcasters? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What do you mean?
Because I know they thought they're content providers.
You mean Cable Bahamas?
Cable Bahamas. First of all,
well,
if right, they're based on the license, unless the license changed.
Some things have changed, but 212 is it's a little different.
If the license has changed, but first of all, the one requirement of their license, and that's what I think you guys need to pull the license is they cannot block that. That has to be. It's mandated that they're on cable channels. That's the law. That's the law. It's mandated. For you to have your license, you must have ZNS throughout. Wherever cable is, ZNS must be on Cable Bahamas. First and foremost, that's a part of their license.
It's crazy. It could get dangerous. Can you imagine if they say, no hurricane coverage only through us, and we're going to block them?
You breach your license when you cut that. That's a national station. Secondly, I don't know if ZNS is still a broadcaster because in 2011 that was downsized and made PBS. PBS also. I think
they're still a broadcaster.
Sorry?
They're absolutely still a broadcaster. I mean, I don't know.
I'm only saying what happened in 2011 when Honorable Hubert Ingram made ZNS into PBS. When they downsized the corporation. And ZNS
that would stop them from being. Well, what do you think broadcasting means?
Broadcasting. What I'm saying to you is, a cable is supposed to be allowed for content providers, like a broadcaster. When they air something live, they provide the content to a cable subscriber. That's what cable is. You facilitate broadcasting. You facilitate it. That's why the license for the community channels, they were only allowed to do certain things. To accept local content producers, content to be aired on the community channel. They was never mandated to advertise. And that argument has been going on for years.
Right.
You understand how the PBS stations work in America?
I do.
You're not allowed to advertise. You're allowed to get a donation. You're allowed to say, hey, this program has been brought to you by.
Yeah, but you can make your own rules. You mentioned the U.S., but you can make your own rules.
I understand all of that, but we're talking about what is allowed to happen. And if the license isn't clear, Jones Communication is a broadcaster, right? I think the Island, the Bass TV station is a broadcaster. They have license to be able to broadcast events. Right now, I think ZNS will initially have that because they are the national broadcasting station. But what is the clear?
State-owned. State-owned is a better way to put it. State-owned.
State-owned.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So what is the clear licenses for Cable Bahamas? Cable 12, actually, or Rev, whatever they're called now. It's the question. And when you're talking about giving out the rights, you call a press conference and whatever and say this year, will be broadcast only on this particular. Everyone does that in sports or whatever on this particular, so the public will know where to tune in. That wasn't clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
That wasn't clear. So that's the issue. The issue I have is, this happened, and we know after the fact, but who have the right to do something next, and who gave that right for this to happen? Who have the right to jump in over? Is it the Ministry of Sports? Is it the government itself? Is it the Junkanoo committee, whatever? Who has the right to give that particular contract to a private entity or to a ZNS? ZNS should always have the right to broadcast any national event. And as long as they have that right, you can say, hey man, you can broadcast, but these are the restrictions on that you're able to do. But at the end of the day, you should not blank ZNS off a cable channel. No right to do it if it was done that way, because that's the national broadcaster. That's what it is.
Interesting points. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep. Lots of great questions there. Will we get the answers before New Year's? That's what we're asking, and I'm not sure. This is unusual, and Cable Bahamas, again, has to come back with a better statement than what they issued yesterday, explaining a whole lot more of what they're talking about, because it is absolutely not clear, and the people who are the parade organizers don't know what they're talking about based on what they've said so far. So this is a serious matter. This text here, if there was a breach by ZNS, then why was their broadcast allowed after a few hours? What was the reason for Cable's about face, and then to now still claim that ZNS breached the contract? Yeah, that's an interesting point.
That is a very salient point.
This is Cable Bahamas doing a test case to remove free to air. I don't know. Don't even joke about it, but okay. Anyway, while I must say that this is the first time the Bahamian people are rowing in favor of ZNS when it comes to media, LOL. Well, the Bahamian people see can see right versus wrong, and can tell, whether you love somebody or not, whether they are right or wrong. You can tell, and I think most people still don't like to see wrong happening, even for someone they have issues with. I got a problem with you, but that wasn't fair. What happened to you? And and if they do it to your enemy, it's only a matter of time before they come around doing it to you, right? So to speak. Okay, we're going to take a break. Guess what? We were just talking about FTX, and Time has just posted an article talking about the same stuff, clawing back payments and what's going to happen. It's providing some interesting insight into what we were talking about this morning. I'm going to get to that in a bit, and we'll talk about the airspace debate. All of that when Morning Blend Business continues on this Thursday morning. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Did you know that using contactless payments with your MasterCard helps plant trees around the globe? Join MasterCard in its commitment to making the world a better place and taking action against climate change. Every contactless transaction with your MasterCard contributes to planting 100 million trees in 5 years in geographies with the most need. Tap your MasterCard contactless to make a difference, and together we can start something priceless. Visit MastercardBA.worldcoo.com for more information.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
This Christmas, let's spread some good together with RBC. Share your acts of kindness stories on RBC's Caribbean Facebook and Instagram pages, and a registered charity of your choice could be selected to receive a donation from RBC, because it feels good to do good.
Showing acts of kindness, RBC.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, says the government will defend the country's sovereign right to manage and charge for the use of Bahamian airspace. His comments coming after Guardian Business reported that 8 U.S. airlines have filed a joint complaint to the U.S. Department of Transportation, citing unjust, discriminatory, anti-competitive, and unreasonable airspace charges by the Bahamas. Cooper says the government will send a formal response to the USDT, the Department of Transportation, but will not litigate the matter in the press. He says they value the relationships they've built with tourism partners and always operate with a view to maintaining them and promoting a balanced consultative process. He says, quote, "We assure the Bahamian people that we will always defend our sovereign right to manage and charge for the use of our airspace, having regard to the internationally held principles of fairness, transparency, and cost-related fairness." The Central Bank of the Bahamas says it made arrangements with the Ministry of Finance for the government to have direct access to the $174.8 million in special drawing rights allocated to the Bahamas by the International Monetary Fund in 2021. In August 2021, the IMF made a $650 billion general allocation to 190 of its member states, of which the Bahamas was allocated $174.8 million at a 0.05% interest rate, which converted to about $247.5 million. At the time, the central bank said the funding would be used to bolster external reserves. As of this month, the bank says the allocation was valued at $232.8 million. The central bank also releasing its draft digital assets guidelines for a 60-day consultation period. The paper provides the central bank's supervised financial institutions with a look at what's expected if financial institutions engage with digital asset and digital asset providers. The overarching theme of the paper is to ensure that the SFIs, the supervised financial institutions, only deal in digital assets that are backed by fiat currency or other tangible assets or security. The paper comes on the heels of the collapse of the locally domiciled cryptocurrency exchange FTX. The FTX matter could become the textbook example of how not to handle, exchange, or assign different types of digital assets. And with spiny lobster fishermen, with them having a phenomenal catch this season, the price of lobster on the international market has slid slightly, depressing local exporters. That's according to the Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs, Clay Sweeting. He told Guardian Business yesterday that the price of lobsters had a minimal decrease from the pricing during August and September. Overseas, Iraq's prime minister has ordered a crackdown on local businesses operating under the names of international brands without legal permission. The move by the premier comes after the Associated Press reported last week that Iraq has become a major center of trademark violations and piracy. In one prominent example, a chain of fake Starbucks has been operating under the International Coffee's company logo in Baghdad. Starbucks filed a lawsuit in an attempt to shut down the trademark violation, but the case was halted after the owner allegedly threatened lawyers hired by the coffee house. The owner of the fake branches has admitted to the AP that he operates the stores without a license from Starbucks, but denied making the threats. He said he's tried to obtain a license legally, but after being turned down, he decided to open the store anyway. And owning Tesla stock has been anything but a smooth ride for investors this year. Shares in the electric vehicle maker are down nearly 70% since the start of the year, on pace to finish in the bottom 5 biggest decliners among S&P's 500 stocks. By comparison, the benchmark index is down about 20%. While Tesla has continued to grow in profits, signs of softening demand and heightened competition have investors increasingly worried. And then there's CEO Elon Musk and his acquisition of Twitter. Some of Musk's actions since taking over the social media company, including doing away with a content moderation structure created to address hate speech and other problems on the platform, have unnerved Twitter's advertisers and turned off some users. That's stoked concerns on Wall Street that Twitter is taking too much of the billionaire's attention and possibly offending loyal Tesla customers. In your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 20,000 shares, closing down 2 cents at $3.58. AML Foods Limited moving $4.50, unchanged at $6.95. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at $2.96. Emir Incorporated down 15 cents, closing at $9.41. And the BISX All Share Index closing at 2,645.11. down 2.62. That's your market watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. All right, so we'll get to the airspace matter in just a bit. But so this morning, just while we're on the air, well, this might be a few days, eh? Yeah, this was a few days ago, but they're still asking some good questions about the money, where money's gone, and as everyone's looking for the money. So this is an article on Time from Time. Time says FTX under new management and federal agencies are now working to recover FTX funds that might be returned to customers. FTX claims that it recovered $1 billion in assets, a fraction of the $8 billion or more still missing. Some $3.1 billion is owed to the company's top 50 creditors. $3.1 billion, according to a bankruptcy filing from FTX last month. It's unclear whether that $3.1 billion is part of the $8 billion or separate. Newly appointed CEO John Ray III says FTX could owe money to more than 1 million people and businesses. But it now seems likely that much of the money routed from FTX to Alameda is no longer in the hands of the latter company, especially if it was used to pay off debts that were incurred following the Terra Luna crash. And earlier in the article, they talked about Terra Luna. But anyway, so Timothy Howard, a partner at the law firm Freshfields and a former federal prosecutor with the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, says that getting money back from third parties to return to customers is possible, but complicated. He says, quote, the Department of Justice is committed to providing restitution to victims of fraud. If assets go to third parties and are proceeds of a crime, they're potentially forfeitable. But third parties can exert an innocent owner defense if they weren't involved in the crime or had no knowledge of or reason to know they were receiving proceeds of crime to dispute forfeiture. So some advice there for certain organizations around here. In a congressional hearing last week, Ray alleged that Alameda spent much of the money it received from FTX users, making it much harder for the money to be returned. He said, at the end of the day, we are not going to be able to recover all the losses here. There was money spent that we will never get back. All right. So, not too sure if some of the charities here have much reason to be concerned, but pay attention. Keep posted on what's going on, and we'll see. We'll see. All right. So, Chester, the this issue, how big do you think this is going to become with the airspace? The airspace, is this going to be what drives conversation for the next few weeks of the first few weeks of the new year?
I don't know. I mean, it's. I guess it just remains to be seen how big of a disparity it was between what was being charged by the FAA anyway, because it's not like our airspace wasn't being monetized in a certain way, because it was being controlled by the FAA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we took it over, even though it's still being controlled by the FAA, we now get proceeds from it.
Right.
And we pay the FAA. So, how much more money is being charged than before?
Yeah.
And is it unfair? I mean, that's the question. I don't know. Well, and then who adjudicates the matter?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good question.
Because we had a bunch of consultation which included the FAA, and I would have assumed that it should have included some airlines.
Well, if you're not up to speed, folks, this is what's happening. Our Paige McCartney writes about it in today's Guardian Business section. Deputy Prime Minister, who's also the Minister of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation, Chester Cooper, said yesterday the government will defend the country's sovereign right to manage and charge for the use of Bahamian airspace. The comments coming after Guardian Business reported that 8 U.S. airlines have filed a joint complaint to the U.S. Department of Transportation, the USDT, citing unjust, discriminatory, anti-competitive, and unreasonable airspace charges by the Bahamas. Cooper said the government will send a formal request, or a formal response rather, to the USDT, but will not litigate the matter in the press. He said, quote, we value the relationships we've built with our tourism partners and always operate with a view to maintaining them and promoting a balanced consultative process. We assure the Bahamian people that we will always defend our sovereign right to manage and charge for the use of our airspace, having regard to the internationally held principles of fairness, transparency, and cost-relatedness. Now, those airlines, represented by the Trade Association and lobbying group Airlines for America, include some big heavy hitters: American Airlines Group, Atlas Air Worldwide Holdings, Delta Airlines, FedEx, JetBlue Airways, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, and UPS, United Parcel Service. They allege in their joint complaint, lodged on December 19th, that the charges that the Bahamas is levying for air navigation services exceed the cost of providing those services by millions of dollars. The complaint was filed under the International Air Transportation Fair Competitive Practices Act. In a formal complaint, they say Quote, the complainants allege these charges are inconsistent with the Bahamas' obligations under Article 10 of the U.S.-Bahamas Air Transport Agreement to ensure the fundamental fairness of the user charges imposed on carriers. The complainants assert that U.S. carriers are discriminated against vis-a-vis other system users because the complainants pay into the FAA's Airport and Airway Trust Fund to support air traffic control and related facilities, and are then charged by the Bahamas for the provision of the same service and related facilities already provided by the FAA. The complaints further assert that Bahamian air carriers and other non-U.S. carriers do not have these duplicative payments levied against them when they operate through the Bahamas' airspace. The complainants argue that the charges are unjustifiable, unreasonably discriminatory, anti-competitive, and unreasonable, and that significant engagement with the government of the Bahamas has not resolved the issue. Now, in May 2021, the Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, which has historically provided air traffic services for Bahamian airspace, entered into a formal air navigation services agreement to allow the Bahamas to collect fees for the use of its own airspace. The fees are $1 per arriving and departing passenger for all airspace users that land and take off from Bahamian airports and fly within Bahamian airspace, plus a flat fee of $10 up to $61 for each flight, depending on the maximum takeoff weight of the aircraft. All right, so like how we all are getting double vatted.
Let me just correct something I said.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reading one of my old stories, and so we don't actually pay the FAA for the monitoring of the airspace, but we do pay them an annual $80,000 fee for data on the airlines that pass through the Bahamas' airspace, which to me is paying them because that's the information we need to build these people, right? So.
Right. Wow. Well, so they're saying they are paying the FAA and having to pay the Bahamas, and they feel like they are. They're paying twice for the same thing.
So is there a loophole because the FAA is still monitoring the country's airspace, but they're saying that they are already paying for that service to be done. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, yes.
Which I feel like has nothing to do with paying for our airspace. So maybe there's some extra fee that they are arguing. Not that they don't want to pay anything, right? I hope that's not the case. To us.
Yeah, you think what they're paying the FAA is a general thing, but since they...
My thing is, and this may be a case sometimes I feel of us just being bullied. Again, the FAA was a part of getting this air navigation thing up and running. There were big consultation contracts with international people to get this thing together. It's not that the Bahamas willy-nilly said, this is what we're going to charge people, like it or lump it. And here we are today. I don't know about the anti-competitive stuff and how Bahamian airlines might be charged compared to international airlines. But... hey.
Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. 323-6232. You can tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Text us 422-4796. This text here. Can we find out how much our overflight fees compared to other countries? Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting. Yeah, Chester, you want to work on that?
Working on it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Now, continue to text us 422-4796. This one here says, Dwight, those U.S. companies are not serious about calling us unreasonable when the most capitalist country of the world gouges customers with the highest possible charges for their services. Check tickets and air freight costs on some of these companies, the couriers, just to name a few. Well, they'll say, hey, there's competition. You don't have to deal with that company. There are always going to be other options. And so that's capitalism, right? Other options. And do you want them to say they have other options too, like canceling flights to the place? You don't want that.
They don't want that either. Don't be fooled.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. All right. Well, we will see. We'll see, and we look forward to hearing from the government on their official response. I see someone was texting earlier about why did he say that he doesn't want to litigate this in the press? We deserve to know about it. I don't think that's what he is saying. He's saying that they're not going to have a back and forth in the press. They will send a formal response, but he did acknowledge that they're going to stand their ground on this, but they'll send a formal response to whomever needs a response. I'm sure they will share that with the media as well. But they didn't want to back and forth. He say, you say, I say, she say, that kind of thing. So that's that. I don't think they're going to try to hide anything with this. No. But we will see. We'll keep you posted. That will likely be something we watch in the first couple of weeks of the new year. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the year that was. We want to hear from you all. What you thought were the most interesting stories of the year, the biggest stories of the year. I'm sure it's not just FTX. It cannot be. I'm sure there's other things. We'll get into that. Chester, you might come back for that, hey? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can get a little round table with
anybody else gonna be there?
With the co-hosts who are up for it. I know it's the last weekday of the year. People ain't into much. But we will see.
I don't want to be there with Stephen and people get confused,
With that, well, that'll blow their minds, eh?
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, we'll talk tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.